Aaron of Thrive, lead singer and guitarist. How are you doing, man?
Awesome.
And
I'm
so,
having a great time this year.
yeah. How did you come up with the name Thrive?
Man, it was a long time ago now because, we've been together for 9 years or something now. So I'm thinking back to that, and that was when we did our first little demo, and we were just sitting in the studio tossing around names. Like, we knew we were going to have that conscious message, in our music, so how would that represent us? And people were tossing around words, and somebody said something like strive or something that rhymed with thrive, and then that's what bounced the idea off to somebody else who said thrive, and everybody goes, oh, wow, what a good name, So we just kind of stuck with that, and I think it's been kind of a staple in what our message is, and an ongoing theme is what we talk about in our lyrics.
I love that you're one of the few that are here that represents the 831 on the music side.
Yeah, definitely. So much time playing the Catalyst, and just opening up for bands in Santa Cruz coming up and back in the day, and then doing our own shows. And we've always been a strong representative of the 831 and all the music that's coming out of there too. So not just us, but other bands.
Yeah, awesome. Tell me some of the influences you had growing up that drove you into music.
Oh, as far as like other bands?
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything, man.
Well, I'm originally from the Midwest, and I grew up listening to a lot of punk. That's where a lot of us, started, was in rock and roll and punk, and so NoFX and Bad Religion were some of my influences growing up musically, and I really liked those bands because of their musicality. There were punk rock bands that had these amazing harmonies and songs. So I started off getting into that kind of influence, and then when I moved to California, when I was a teenager, started going to Reggae on the River, and then all those roots reggae musicians, the message of that hit me powerfully, and I just never turned back. I was like, I gotta get involved with this somehow. I gotta make this a part of my life, and so that's how the reggae came in. But the influences is just, Kenny and I, who is our drummer, he's not here, but we like to write songs about things that, people go through, and also just the conscious movement of, health and well-being and taking care of your family and your community, and that's what we're all about.
Well, when was that moment that you realized that you said, what, this right here, what I'm doing in this studio, in this stage, is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. Man, I think it was when my brother, my brother Adam used to take me to shows when I was a kid, little punk shows and stuff, and used to watch the bands and just, see them and their emotional outlet on stage, and just immediately I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be up on that stage playing, no matter what that means. I don't care if it's for 5 people, I don't care if it's for 5,000. We're playing, you know what I mean? And that's never stopped, just always craved, to be in front of an audience and just express yourself creatively,
Like a couple of months back, you guys released a brand new single called Not Enemies.
Yeah.
For free download on thrivingmusic.com.
Thrivingmusic.com.
Talk to us on the process of making that song.
Yeah.
Because it honestly, it took me a second just to really get a grasp of it, but once I read it out, wow, it's like the name really does fit the song, because it's not about being in it, it's about love. So
right,
but
it is a love song, it's definitely about love, and it started out as that concept, but down the road it turned into that plus the concept of the basis of a working relationship, you know what I mean? Like any relationship, whether it's a friendship or a business colleague or whatever, you have to compromise and work together. And I think that's what the message of the song ended up being, was compromise. We're not enemies. Let's work together. Let's do what needs to be done, and put our negative emotions aside for the greater good.
When can we expect another album from Thrive? Because Not Enemies, to me, it was just like a tease. It was like saying, we're still here.
Totally.
So,
totally. It was. That's what it was. And Kenny and I are working on, our songs right now, bringing a lot of new songs to the table, and the band and the guys, we're all pumped on the new music. After I get home from Cali Roots, I'm going right into the studio, Two Rivers Studio in Gualala, California, and we're already maybe a third done with the post-production. So I think we're looking at probably a fall or early winter release on the new Thrive album.
You guys have an idea of what the title's going to be, or you want to keep that little hush-hush right now?
We're kind of keeping it under wraps for right now, because honestly, we're still deciding. We're kind of listening to the songs and trying to get a sense of what the overall theme is and name it based off that.
Okay. Are we going to get any features, or is this going to be straight Thrive?
No, there's definitely going to be some features. And that's one thing that we always try to do and that we really enjoy doing, because with music, I think collaboration is the beauty in it. When we work together, it's like it becomes so much better, than when we keep it all to ourselves, I guess.
Okay. Last year, you guys performed at here at Cali Roots. When we were talking a little earlier, you said you guys were here on the first Cali Roots. Talk to us about that experience and the building of something that was just an idea then and what it is now. Like, it's ridiculous that you guys were here in the first one.
I know. I think that too. I've been, this is the 8th one, and I've been to all 8. So I'm proud to say that. And thinking back to that, it goes back to a long time ago when I was at Jeff's house, and he's like, "Man, I'm thinking about doing a show." Thinking about doing a show. Want to get the bands together. He was just doing clothing at the time. It was California Roots Clothing, and he was sponsoring all of, a few of these bands like Thrive and Through the Roots and Seedless. Those were some of the original bands that Jeff sponsored. And then, we were sitting there in his living room one day because, just hanging out. He was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a show," and I was like, "Cool. Can we play?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, you guys definitely. I wouldn't, So that was awesome, and it was cool to see it because in the beginning it was small. It was like maybe a couple thousand people.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard about 1,500 for the very first one.
That's what I heard too. About 1,500.
Yeah.
And, at this small stage over here, the original stage was the main stage.
Yeah, I heard all you guys were camping in the bowl.
The bowl was only camping.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and so it was humble, man. It was really humble, and we all kind of were just that core team, and then from there, like some more pieces of the puzzle came in, and it ended up making the festival even more successful and even more well-known, and I'm really happy for that, because if a festival doesn't flourish, then a festival doesn't survive, and we need this movement to survive, because this is a positive thing that's helping a lot of people.
Yeah, I totally agree. We're getting close to the end, and I want to give you a moment to just speak to the live audience.
I just want them to know that we appreciate everything, all of the support that everybody has given us and the opportunities that we've had in this industry. And I want to give a shout out to Jeff Monzer and Kelly Monzer, because they are the foundation that started this garden, which is now flourishing, and I'm just so proud of them. I'm proud of Jeff, for doing this, and everybody else that gets involved. There's so many, but I appreciate everybody so much, and I'm just happy to be here at Cali Roots and be a part of it, be part of the family.
Just do a little bit of shameless promotion, because there's really no shame in promoting what you're doing.
Yes, I'd love to shamelessly promote that we have a new single, Not Enemies, that we talked about, and you can download it for free on thrivingmusic.com. Also, we're working on our new album, which is going to come out in either late fall or early winter. And we're going to be playing Dry Diggings Festival coming up in September 2nd and 3rd. So you can check us out there. And also we have our other festivals and show dates on our social media. Everything is Thriving Music, on the social media pages. And, I just want to shout out Jeff Monzer, Dan Sheehan, everybody that gets involved with the festival, Bulldog Media, and everybody else that's making this movement grow and grow. Let's keep it growing. Remember to keep it thriving at SessionTapes.com.